Hi everyone, right, this is part 2. I haven't had to wait until tomorrow for this. But I did mention in my last video that I was going to, excuse me, use this board for the underwater scene that I want to do. And after I'd finished the last video, I just checked on the colour to see how it was infusing in each other. Oh, I was amazed to see what it's done. And so what's happened is, let me just show you. This is the right way around. This is the bottom, and I added yellows, browns, and orange. I sprinkled onto the paste, and at the top I used blues and greens. Now, what happened was when I went to check on it, they had all fused together, but then all this had turned up. You know, where there was excess paste, which was the exact same look I was going to do by hand myself, and I haven't needed to do that because it did it. It's by the way, I've spread it onto the page, not the page, onto the board. So if you are doing this, someone mentioned about doing this in an art journal, it would look good. It would look absolutely fantastic. But this now looks like the air bubbles coming up off the seabed, which is absolutely brilliant for what I wanted. And so I've been and gathered a few bits and pieces that I'm going to be using on this board for my scene. And what I did, because there was a lot of excess liquid, I just tilted it to the left hand side and let it all run, and then poured it out of the corner, and it's left this, and I'm absolutely thrilled with it. I love the colours that's in it. It does look underwater-ish type of thing. But what I'm going to start and do now is build on it, and I did find myself a picture because like I say, it's an underwater scene. And this is the mermaid that I happened to find. So I've printed it off and added it to card. And I loved the way when I added it to card, before it dried, it curled after cutting it out. And look, she's going to sit right there. I mean, obviously I will curl that the other way, and that's what she's going to do. And I'm going to make a rock from material to put in here. Sorry, from card. And then I'm going to have, I've gone through all my stash, and I've managed to come up with some of these. If you remember, I bought quite a few of these. Marlene got them for me. And all I've done with some of them is coloured them using my Plush Rose Pink Glimmer Mist. I've found some leaves, which are like those, which I'm going to use for some of the plants. I did find some of the coloured ones as well, which I'll add them in somewhere. Because remember, when you're doing a project, don't think about what you should be using. You know, you don't have to get everything exactly what you should be using. Think outside the box and use the materials that you've got. Now, I forgot that I had some of these. Do you remember? I bought them in a, it was several of these on a stem. And these are like the feathery bits. So I thought, well, they'll look good underneath. You get, it's the lily, the water lily. So they'll do that. There's some of that. I know it's not green, but I can use a green in between. So I've got that. I've got some material in case I want to distress that and put that in. I've got some of these squares that somebody sent me, the velvet squares, that I might be able to use in there somewhere. I've also got some of this that somebody sent me, which I've never used, but it's absolutely gorgeous, and I just thought that will look nice in the background. I've also got some of this that Mammy sent me, which is the, or was it Olga? Olga may have sent me some as well, but Mammy sent me some, I think. And so it's like the mesh, black mesh with gold trim. I've got my stickle paints, crackle paints that I'm going to be using in it. May do, may not. I found some of these that somebody sent me as well. Sequin flowers, because you get flowers in the sea. You do. I've found some of these. Dewdrops. Some are coloured, some are not. I found some of these, like a bell, so you can have, because you do get a flower. Well, you get all sorts in the sea, as you know, that look, they look like flowers, so I've got those to use. I've just sprayed some of my glimmer mist on them to make them that colour. And so what I'm going to start and do is build my picture. So the first thing I'm going to do, when I can find what I've done, here it is, here's my box. I've found some brown paper because I'm going to make the rock. And what I'm going to do is, I've just ripped a piece off. I'm going to actually scrumple it up before I wet it. Just really get some decent creases in it. Undo that. And then what I'm going to do is glimmer mist that, but I'm going to use the, where are we? Let me just see. I'm going to use a turquoise. Okay. And I'm just going to wet that. Yeah, like that, fine. Leave that to soak for a minute, and while that's soaking, turn my picture round, and I'm going to start doing the background. Now I'll go as far as I can with it, and then I might have to come back and finish it off. So, take my pliers, measure these out, and snip them off. I'm not having them straight, I'm just going to have them like that. Just a minute, get my glue gun. Oops. And I have dried this off, by the way, using the heat gun. So I'll just turn this round till I get the right. Thing. And I'm just going to pop that not straight like that. I'm going to have a couple of those. I want to have a smaller one. And this is the bit I've snipped off. Oops. I'm going to need some new glue for this now. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to run out, aren't I? So, oops. Let's just pop that on. Like that. You can take all the strands and that off later. Yeah, I do like that. I'm going to also put one at the back of the what will be where the rock will go. And this is all just using the materials that I have in. Like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move that out the way. Don't know where. Take my box that's got my paper in, take my heat gun, and just dry this off a little bit. Oh, first of all, what I'm going to do is just dab it and then scrunch it before I dry it. I'm just going to dry that off now. And I will be mixing with this because it's going to take quite a while to do this picture. Paints and I don't know, I'll just see how I get on. I know what I'm looking for. Take my picture again. Right, I'm just going to get some more glue. Oh dear. I've got a new glue gun that Marley managed to pick up, one of the smaller ones, and I'm just waiting for the adapter to be sent because it didn't have an adapter with it. Now all I'm doing is taking the glue and just popping it on here and there where I'm going to want it to stick to the because this is the rock, like that. And that's all I'm going to do. Right. And then my mermaid, I'm just going to bend her a little bit. That's it. I'm going to have her sat there. She's going to be sat on the rock. So I need to pop a little bit more glue underneath. Like I say, you can take all the strands off later. I'm not fussed about those at all. Put a little bit of glue on her hand and pop that down. Sorry, I know you can't see. I'm really sorry. I am trying. I've put the paper in for the rock and added the mermaid in where I want her. So it just looks like she's sat on it. I do like the paper sticking out behind. And I'm going to add just a couple of these dewdrops. Just here and there. I do have some with glitter in, so I'm going to be using those as well. Because I mean, I absolutely love these. And I just think it'll... Sorry, I'm going to have to move it to be able to do the next bit. Then, like I say, I'm going to be putting some of these in. And don't worry about the stems, because you can snip them off when you want. Well, I'd be covering those actually. See if I can get another one or two of those. I'm not even going to be straightening those because I like the way they're bending. Oops. I'll stick that in there now it's done. That's fine. Let's get another one. I'm just going to try and stick that under the tail. There. So, oops. You can start to see how it's building up. Look. Let me just... Oh, I wish you could just see everything clear. Oh, it's not clear at all, is it? You know, I mean, this... It's really difficult, and I'm really sorry, but I can't help it. I can't do anything about it. Now, I'm going to snip these little bells. And just a couple of those for now. I'm not sure quite where I'm going to put them. I'll find a spot. Like, I want one behind her. I'm not bothered if it comes off the page at all. Do another one. Like I say, you can see it coming on. Right, it's going to go off in a minute, ladies. I will be back to finish off. And I'll see you in a bit.